What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to use Tabletop Simulator in a scenario that we use at conventions pretty regularly to kind of show people how cool Challengers is, to give you a basic overview of how the game works, and hopefully get you wanting to play some more. So in the scenario that we're in, we're pretty late game. My opponent has attacked me in the last turn. I was able to block it, and then now here I am at the end of my turn, and I'm going to go ahead and pass back to them because I know that if they swing out, I need to at least be able to block a couple. So at the top of his turn, he's going to start by upkeeping his field, resetting the battlefield back to norm, and then he's going to gather resources. In Challengers, you get to gather 2 resources in every upkeep except your first one, and those resources could be drawing a card or rolling for grace. So in this scenario, he's going to go ahead and roll for grace, which is the sum of 2 10-sided dice. He has rolled an 11, so he's going to add 11 to his grace bank. Grace sticks with you as long as you have it, so until you use it, it's there. It's not something that resets every turn. You can save up for big plays as time goes forward. And now he has one more resource to gather, so in this scenario, he's probably got enough grace to work with, so he's going to go ahead and draw a card. Now he's going to enter into the prepare phase. This is the only space that you can actually spend grace to play cards. The grace cost of each card is found in the lower left corner of every card. You see Director of Convalis is 25, J-Hammer is 10, so on and so forth. You can play as many cards in your prep phase as you like, as long as you have the grace to do so. The only cards that can be played outside of this prep phase would be an instant card. So in this situation, I think he's got one card in his hand he's going to go ahead and play. So he's going to bring Backline Archer to the battlefield for 7 grace, and that card is going to come to the battlefield upside down because it is exhausted. This is similar to some mechanics in other games. Major difference is that we can block on our first turn, we just can't attack. Now that he has completed his preparation phase, he's going to enter the engage phase. Engage is split up into 2 parts. The first part being activating any active abilities that don't include attacking on a hero. The second part being declaring what attacks are going towards your opponent. So in this scenario, with what he's got on the field and available to him, there are no preemptive abilities that aren't attacking. And because he's just as concerned about losing as I am, I think he's probably just going to attack with one of those backline archers. He'll activate the cards that he's going to attack with, declare the entirety of his move, and then I have to decide how to respond. So Backline Archer, the way combat works in our game, we call it directional combat. It's not like other games where you're having to do the cross math and the counter striking things. We think of it like an RPG where each turn is 3 seconds. So in this scenario, all he has to do, he's just comparing his attack stat, that 11, with all the defense stats on my side of the field, which is the bottom right of the card, right side number. So I have a 15 and an 18. The other thing to consider here is his backline archer is ranged, meaning it can only be blocked by shielded heroes. I do happen to have a shielded hero on the field. I don't think he noticed that when he attacked. So we're going to block with Director of Convalis against that backline archer, and that 15 is going to outweigh the 11. Therefore, both heroes will stay on the field as it is a failed attack or a successful block, depending on which way you look at it. The other thing that's going to happen is Director of Convalis' ability is going to trigger, which says gain 5 HP when the hero is activated. So we're going to go ahead and gain 5 HP, setting us to 10. Now that the combat is resolved, unless he has some other card to play like an instant, the turn will be passed to me. So I'll start my upkeep by resetting my battlefield and beginning to gather resources. I have 2 cards in my hand that total to 24 grace. I currently have 22 grace in my bank, so I'm going to roll once to see if I can't get the grace I need to use both of these cards. So we rolled 10, so that's going to add to our grace bank. 10 is more than enough to do what I want to do, so I want to see what the next card in my deck is. So my second resource is going to be drawing this Sabotage card. Doesn't really do me a lot of good in this scenario, but I've got moves to make. So to start off my preparation phase and beginning to play the cards, I'm going to start by playing the Poem of Life banner to the back of my field. Banner cards affect the entire field in more global ways than tools, which are attached directly to heroes. This one costs 14 grace, leaving me with 18 to remain. I'm going to use another 10 grace to play J-Spike to Director of Convalis. Our tool equipment rules are based on the guilds and the amount of Incata a hero has. That's the stat in the middle of the card. This hero can carry 2 tools. and he is part of the Weavers Guild. So both of my tools are acceptable from the Weavers Guild. J Hammer gives him +10 defense, and J Spike gives him +10 attack. And when they're equipped together, any attacks go straight to my opponent's HP. They are unblockable. So now I'm going to enter into my engage phase. And just like I said before, the engage phase is split into 2 parts. So the first part is activating any active abilities that replace attack and block, and then we will decide how to attack. So I'm going to utilize Last Stand on Counselor of Leston. I'm going to activate him, and that says that I can bring a hero back from my infirmary to the field and that they may attack. So I'm going to bring this other Director of Convalis back from our infirmary. This is where our heroes go when they are defeated or discarded, and the reserve is where any other kind of card goes. Now, I'm going to declare my attack to end my engage phase. I'm going to attack with both Directors of Convalis. This one is going to be unblockable for 37 damage, and this one will be blockable if he so chooses to, but when they're activated, I gain 10 HP, so we're going to go ahead and go up to 20 HP. And then he has to, in the response phase, decide how to resolve my attacks. So the 137 is going through to his HP immediately, so he's going to subtract 37, leaving him with 8. Yep. And then the other one is another 27 attack coming his way. He could choose to let that go through and the game would be over for sure, or he could choose to use one of his heroes to block. Now, in this case, it's either going to be 27 versus 22 or 27 versus 26. Either way, my hero will, or even 27 versus 9, whichever he chooses. Either way, I'll successfully attack, and whichever hero he decides will be going to the infirmary. So he's going to decide which hero to block with. He's going to block with Shield Guardian. That Shield Guardian's going to go to the infirmary, and he thinks he's solved my attack. But remember, we played this pretty little banner in the beginning of the turn. Poem of Life is on the field, so at the end of each of my turns, my opponent loses HP equal to the HP I gained that turn. That means the 10 HP I gained for these two, he loses. And that is us winning the game. That's the basics of Challengers. There's a link down below to a Calendly that you can schedule a Learn to Play. We have Tabletop Simulator accounts that you can borrow if you'd like to experience the game for yourself. Keep up for all the news that's going on. Our launch on Kickstarter is October 28th, so get ready because Challengers is coming to a store near you.